right, we'll stay in the vein of story songs about family. I grew up in Kennesaw, Ackworth, Georgia. You got any Georgia people here? Yeah. I spent the summer times at my grandparents' house in Cartersville, Georgia, and they had a farm. They had sheep and rabbits and duck poo everywhere. Y'all know the deal. You can smell it, right? And my grandparents are, I know now, they're very interesting people. Remember, my grandma made her 3 sons put a hot tub in her bedroom one time, and it fell through the floor because they didn't do it correctly. And then she just had a hole in her floor for years. I thought everybody lived that way. But I had the great honor of sharing a bed with my mama. My mama was my great-grandmother, and she was known in the great state of North Carolina for grave robbing with her sister. Yeah. It's really not a bad gig if you really think about it. It's like, but she also had 5 husbands die of natural causes. She was a little bitty lady, really good at basketball. And I got to share a bed with her. And I'd fall asleep to the sounds of 2020 every night. It was a beautiful thing. I was very afraid of her. And I remember one night my Uncle Dale came, he cracked open the door, and he was like, "Hey, one of the sheep got out. You want to help me go and save its life?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, absolutely. Anything but this." And it was like 10 o'clock at night, right? And it was like, I was actually there for Thanksgiving weekend, so it was like really cold outside. And we went out, we got on the four-wheeler. Sorry, that was a long story. We got on the four-wheeler, and we took off into the middle of the woods, and the neighbors by my grandparents' farm, they were burning all their fields, so there was these like really faint embers floating around. It was creepy. And my Uncle Dale was like, "Hey, if you hear something that sounds like a mountain lion," no, scratch that. "If you hear something that sounds like a lady screaming, it's a mountain lion," right? I was like, "Great. I don't know why you're telling me that, but that's great. Thank you." And we rode deep into the woods, and then we ran out of gas. And my Uncle Dale was like, "You stay here." He was like, "You stay here. I don't want anybody to steal the four-wheeler." Middle of the woods, middle of the night. He's like, "I'm gonna go get gas at a gas station that doesn't exist." Or I thought it didn't exist. And he left. Now, you hear how uncomfortable silence is? Like right now. So it was that, but for a long time. And then I heard it. I heard a lady just scream. And then it got closer. And I remember I was like, "Dale!" And the sound of my voice bounced off the trees and came back at me, and it made me cry, because I realized how alone I really was. And then I saw its shadow stand up right in front of those embers, and it came at me real slow. And I said, "Dale," again, and then it got up on its hind legs, and it had human hands, and it grabbed my shoulders and screamed again. And it was Dale. It was my Uncle Dale. But I think the moral, my favorite part of the story is, then he just turned the four-wheeler on. We just rode home. It's great. There was nobody there to laugh with Dale. Just him in the wilderness and his 10-year-old nephew. And I'm grateful for it. It built character. It was a good thing. But I love my Uncle Dale. I love my Uncle Dale. And when my Uncle Dale's wife broke his heart, he was that year he was the champion of the Dixie Speedway, in the racetrack where I grew up next to. And I remember he spray painted "I Still Love You, Katie" on the side of his car. It was romance. But he came and he stayed at my grandparents' with us, and it was really the first time that I'd been around an adult that was really struggling with real pain. And he went to the county auction and he bought this horse that had actually gotten stuck in some barbed wire, and it had hurt its neck. Its neck was slit wide open, and they were going to put it down. My uncle bought it and brought it home, and he nursed that horse back to life. And I felt like I watched that horse bring him back to life, and I wrote this song about that memory. This is Fire Red Horse.